Hello, my name is Christian, and here's my audience over here. There's not a lot of room in this kitchen, so they're sitting in there. See if we get this set up right so we can see everything. Alright, today I'm going to show everybody how to grout a tile backsplash. I put this backsplash in yesterday. It's all had time to dry and is secured to the wall. You can see none of the tiles are moving. I can pull on them. They're not going anywhere. So we're ready to grout this and get it set up to put all of our stuff back on the counter. Over here we have some tools that we're going to use. There's not a lot to go with grouting here. I have a couple different floats. Here's an offset float here, and here's an offset float here. Both of them are kind of hard to find. There's a million different grout floats. It's kind of personal preference on what you want to use here. This one's my tried and true. I've had this for almost 15 years, so that's the one I'm probably going to use today. Right here we have a margin trowel. This we'll be using to get our margins of our grout. Right here, if we have any thin set stuck in here, we can get it out with the margin trowel. And we're also going to use this to mix up our grout. Here we have a sponge. We'll use this to wipe our grout and generally just play with the water. We have some gloves here because when you're grouting, it's really abrasive on your hands, so you're going to want to wear gloves. They sell different types of gloves. This is a small project, so these are just regular latex gloves. And we have our box cutter knife just in case. Again, we have stuff in between the tiles we can get in here. We have a little bit right there actually. We can pull that out right now with that. And that's ready to go. Make sure you close it back up so you don't cut yourself. Alright, and down here I have the grout that we're going to use. This is a Mape sanded grout. The sanded grout is used for grout joints 1/8 of an inch or above. You have different kinds of grout. There's unsanded, fortified grout, and that's used for grout joints that are under 1/8 of an inch. And there's also epoxy grout. That's used a lot in commercial applications because it's a lot easier to clean, and it's all around just kind of a harder product than the sanded or the unsanded fortified grout that we're going to be using. So the first step is to mix up our grout. And we'll kind of go down here, you know, get some water, and we'll put it in our bucket. Show you, just a little spongeful goes in that bucket there. Not a whole lot. You don't want to overdo it. It's really easy to put too much water in your grout. So just kind of mix it up real good. And if you're doing a big project, you'll probably want a drill and a paddle to do this. But since it's such a small project, we're just going to do it all by hand. And you can see it's starting to get up and firm up a little bit. But we want a little bit more water than that. Again, not too much water. You want to add a little bit at a time. So if you add too much water, you're going to need more grout. And there's a good chance that I might have done that here. But we'll see once we get it all mixed up. Yep, I put a little bit too much water in there, so we add a little bit more of the grout to the solution. And try and speed this process up a little bit. And it's, of course, going to be dusty, so you're going to have a mess to clean up after you're all done with the project. But that's with every home improvement project. And keep mix. Now, we also got to do what's called letting the grout slake. And that's so your grout can release some of the air bubbles and it has time to settle. And if you're doing a big project and you have a lot of grout, you get about halfway through your bucket and that grout turns to rock and it's impossible to spread. So we're probably going to cut for a few minutes and let this slake up. Alright, now we've let that sit for about 5 minutes and we've got a good consistency in here. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but it's a real good kind of ploppy consistency here. Knock that off and put that in the water. Grab our float and a little bit of grout. And you throw it in joints real good and you push it in there real good in those joints. Go down with it, and of course you're going to drop some on the ground. It's again part of the process to be a little messy. It is grout, and you just keep going until you get to the end here. Now, of course, there's going to be a stove right here, so you don't got to go any further than that. And we'll go all the way to the end on all of these joints here. And we're making a mess, which is part of the fun of tile work, especially if you have a good helper to clean it up after you. Right, Bobby? That Bobby's my boy. He's sitting in the other room. He's helping me with a lot of tile projects. Alright, that's where we'll stop so I can show you what's next. And grab our gloves right here. And put these on. This will take a few seconds just because they're so tight. Then you get your sponge out of your nice clean water there. And you don't want it dripping wet. You want to make sure that your sponge is pretty much dry. And you take over these joints at a 45-degree angle like that. And you smooth out those grout joints so that it's all nice and smooth there and you can never see it. And you flip your sponge. See, that side's dirty, that side's clean. You flip your sponge and you go over it again. 45-degree angle. Get all that residual off those tiles. Now, there's still a little bit left, so we want to do it one more time. Wring out that sponge really good and go over those tiles. And there you go. That's effectively grouted those joints. Now we have a lot more to do, but that's going to take a bunch more time. And you always want to try and seal your grout too. There's sealer that you can buy to put inside these grout joints, and that'll keep them nice and clean. It's something that you want to do every year. So hopefully you'll get used to it, and again, practice makes perfect. If you want to try it yourself, make sure you have the right tools. If you don't know what you're doing, seek knowledge from somebody else. I'm sure there's people at the home improvement store who can give you advice. Thank you. Have a good day.